Welcome to Retirement Key Radio with Abe Abish.
Abe, especially here in the D.C. metro area, but across the country, we cannot escape that a political season is here.
Oh, that's true. It's all over the D.C. area, and that's all the time.
And I love flashing back in history, especially when it's something that positively impacted our wallet. It was 33 years ago that President Reagan signed the Tax Reform Act of 1986 into law.
Now that we've come this far, we will not allow tax reform to be undone with tax rate hikes. We must restore certainty to our tax code and our economy, and I'll oppose with all my might any attempt to raise tax rates on the American people, and I hope that all here will join with me to make permanent the historic progress of tax reform.
And if you're listening to this radio station, it's very likely that, like Abe and I, President Ronald Reagan was one of the greats and somebody we admire a lot. What's interesting, Abe, is he and Donald Trump have a lot of things in common that come to mind. They're both renegades, love them or dislike them. They both were popular in mainstream life before they were politicians, and their tax cuts have impacted our life positively.
That's true, but you know what? There's nothing permanent, I would say, about the tax code. Things are always changing, right? Tax laws are always changing. And interesting, Ronald Reagan said, make this change permanent, because that hasn't happened. You know, a couple of things have changed in the tax code since then. And so, you know, tax rates and brackets are going to go up and down. Right now, they've gone down. And with Trump's new tax code, tax rates and brackets have come down. Taxes are on sale, we believe, and at a discount. And it's something we need to seriously consider. You know, should we pay our taxes now on purpose on some of our pre-taxed retirement dollars, or should we wait and hope that tax rates and brackets will be even lower? Or the same.
Here's the thing. I know that the Trump tax cuts are supposed to be good until 2025. I got that memo. But we have some of the presidential candidates pushing for even higher taxes. So clearly, you're right. This tax rate can change at any time. So what do we do now to have a tax strategy with retirement that keeps us up to date?
Well, I believe being tax diversified is just as important as being investment diversified. You know, people say don't have all your eggs in one basket and don't have all your money in stocks or all in annuities or all in real estate. And so I believe it's just as important to be tax diversified as it is to be investment diversified. That means don't have all of your money in a 401k or pre-taxed account. Don't have all your money in cash in the bank or in a brokerage account, because if all of your money is in a 401k or pre-taxed retirement account like the TSP, the 403b, and many other accounts, and taxes go up on you in the future, you will be paying more taxes then than today, right? So what can we do to be tax diversified? Well, we can take advantage of after-tax retirement vehicles and accounts like Roth IRAs, like municipal bonds, like permanent life insurance, you know, universal life and whole life and things like that. And that's exactly what one of our radio callers just called in about. He's 50, so he's on the younger side for our clients. Most are 55 and up. But he wants to get all of his ducks lined up in a row now, about 15 years ahead of when he plans to retire. And so it's not too early for him. He's going to retire at 65, so he plans to. And he's putting a lot of money in his 401k already and wanted to know what other vehicles could he take advantage of. He can save an extra, I think, $500 or $600 a month. And so this is exactly the conversation we had with him. He lives in Montgomery County, Maryland, and you know, we were talking through his situation, figured out that he's taking advantage of the 401k. He has this extra cash flow. Let's be investment diversified. Let's also be tax diversified. So he's going to take advantage of both putting money into a Roth and putting money into permanent life insurance, indexed universal life insurance to be specific, where all the money that you put in is after tax. You can't take a tax deduction, but all the money that you put in plus its growth can come out tax-free to you or free of tax if structured properly. So that's exactly how we help this gentleman.
There's something else with taxes and retirement that people often forget, Abe, especially when they're in or near retirement. Social Security, how does that impact our taxes?
Interesting. Social Security, treated as provisional income. Totally different than any income you're going to receive in retirement. Totally different from annuity income, 401k income, investment income. And Congress has a different set of rules for how Social Security taxation is treated.
Isn't that so nice of them?
And guess what? We pay taxes on our Social Security as we work. Every single paycheck, Social Security, FICA, Medicare, all that comes out, right, and gets deposited into the system. Then, if we're over certain income thresholds in retirement, and these thresholds were determined by Congress, then our Social Security checks are taxed as well. Those income thresholds are really low. So for a married couple receiving, let's say they're in retirement, receiving Social Security and other income, if their total household income, modified adjusted gross income, is only over $44,000, then 85% of their Social Security income will be taxed at their ordinary income tax bracket. If you're single and retired and receiving retirement income, including Social Security, and your income is only $34,000 or more, then 85% of your Social Security income check will be taxed at your ordinary income tax bracket. You pay taxes on it when you're working in your career, you're going to pay taxes on it more than likely in retirement as well.
They get you going and coming. That's the way it works. That's why you've got to pay
Not
attention
fair,
to these things. Well, nobody
that's right.
said anything was fair, and
That's right.
government and taxes, those are not words that go together. But
Right.
that is why, Abe, you pay so much attention to this. If you want to know more about any topic that we talk about on this podcast, you can always reach out by clicking on retirementkeyradio.com. I saw an interesting survey citing that 70% of baby boomers surveyed by Nationwide specifically say that their top fear is that out-of-control healthcare expenses will ruin their retirement. Abe, I think that's just a fear we have to live with, right?
Well, not just live with, but we need to do something about it, right? This is not just one of these things we can sweep under the rug, under the mattress. We need to really see how we can plan and do the best thing we can to try to attack.
So we can prevent it from absolutely ruining things.
I think so. It's all a matter of planning and really addressing things. This is one of the 4 big things that can erode our wealth in retirement is a healthcare event. And one of our most recent radio callers called in. She lives in Arlington, Virginia. That's where I grew up. She's 58 and plans to retire in 10 years. Well, actually, in between 65 and 70. So sometime in the next 7 to 10 years. And again, a little bit on the younger side for one of our clients, but she's doing this at a great time, we believe, because, man, look how much we can do if we have 5, 7, 10 years to plan and put all this together versus, someone calling in or coming into our office that's retiring at the end of 2019. There's only so much we can do. Well, this lady bikes all over DC.
Oh, wow.
All over she and her husband, they bike all over DC. She is super fit, full of energy. She's just a great lady. Well, she's 58 and really healthy.
Okay.
I believe her mom is in her 80s, close to 90. She's got longevity in her family. She is going to live long at the rate that she exercises and eats so healthy and all these things. Well, healthcare was one of her big concerns, and that's one of several reasons why she called in. And she had actually purchased a standalone long-term care policy through one of these big long-term care insurance companies, and she wasn't a fan of it. And the reason why she's not a fan of it is because it's so inflexible. Now, there's a good chance she'll end up needing care down the road. I think 70% of people 65 and older are going to need some kind of care down the road, whether it's in their home or at a facility. So she's concerned with it, but she doesn't like the inflexibility of that type of policy, meaning it will only pay and pay out if she has a long-term care event. But if she dies quickly, if she becomes disabled, if the premiums go up and she can't afford it, maybe she pays into this thing for a long time and then doesn't use the benefit that she paid for. So what we recommended for her instead, and what she was really looking for and seeking, is a hybrid insurance vehicle that has a death benefit, it has long-term care built in, it has a savings function and a savings component inside the policy such that she can actually create a return of premium for herself. In other words, if she put in $30,000 over 20 years into this policy, she can create it such that she can receive that $30,000 back if she had to cancel or walk away from the policy.
Wow, okay. A little more flexibility for sure.
Much more flexibility. She also has over $500,000 saved and wanted to come in because although she's done a pretty good job saving, she felt like she had no plan. What she knew she had is a growth plan. The talk with her advisor was always about growth, and accumulating and saving as much as she could and earning as much as she could on the investments. But none of this was ever put all together for her. This healthcare piece and taxes and the investments and Social Security, none of this was put into a total comprehensive income plan that she could really digest and follow each year. Well, she came into the office from Arlington, and when she left, she said, Abe, I feel so much better about myself because now I actually have a plan. I actually have a roadmap that I can follow. Wow. I can't tell you how many people say that. So we often talk about it as a financial junk drawer. Let's get that junk drawer, all those statements, all those different accounts. Let's make sense of it in a total comprehensive income plan that makes sense for you and your family.
Find out more at retirementkeyradio.com.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abraham Abish, NPM number 770-3575.